everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. And today, guys, the server for Thrivecraft is actually down. We don't know when it'll be back up. Yeah, we're just waiting on CF to uh sort some stuff out on his end. So for now, there won't be any Thrivecraft for a while. So for now, I'll be doing little videos here and there. Might do some movie reviews in my new style. So today we are going to talk about. Let me introduce my co-host. I'm instead of being alone today, I am joined by the one, the only, the amazing Astral.
Yes, hello. I mean, the Wii was probably a dead giveaway that someone else was with you, but I do like the fact that you almost said Wii and then you realised, oh shit, I should probably introduce him.
So
That was smooth.
so yeah, today we are going to talk about basically like what I did in my other Spider-Man video. Today we are going to talk about like if Miles Morales got a solo game, what would we want it to have? Our thoughts, theories, it could be stuff like that. We're probably gonna get another solo game with him. It'll probably be a thing that happens where we get a Peter game, well, Peter and Miles game, then a Miles game, or vice versa and stuff like that. Maybe after this we'll get another Peter game, just a little small one.
Yeah.
We could get just a Peter game, but
Yeah, I think until obviously we know the full scope and story of Spider-Man 2, because we're yet to actually get much information on that. And it might be a bit early to be theorizing future games in said franchise, but I think the likelihood of another Miles solo game, and one that's of like actual game length, not like DLC length, which the original Miles Morales was more DLC
which
length.
made kind of sense because we just came off the
Yeah, the
first
big
game,
Spider-Man. So
and that had
I would,
DLC of its own as well.
I would like Miles to get like a full game to like thrive, like a full, 20, 30 hour campaign
Yeah,
to like thrive off of,
and
because
maybe its own DLC as well.
yeah, the character development he got in his own solo game was like mad. It was
True.
mental for the amount of time that we actually put
Like these
invested.
games always have moments in them that are fucking like out there, like just falling
Yeah,
out there. First game, it was the terror attack at Osborn's rally. Then in Miles's game, it was the fucking bridge attack.
Bridge was
I
awesome.
feel like I prefer the bridge one over
I've
the.
never felt more like Spider-Man
Yeah, that
than
bridge one was
being
fucking
on that
terrifying.
bridge.
And I like how everybody in Harlem at the end even were like, everybody saw almost everybody saw who he was as well. And
Oh,
and then end of game, it's like he's walking down the street and everybody's looking at him like, yeah, I fucking know who you are.
yo, what's up, Miles?
What's up, Miles? You going web
But,
slinging?
yeah, it should be stated, and image, not image, but like sentence on screen. This is recorded before Spider-Man 2 has got any information. So if tomorrow after we've recorded this, Insomniac go, by the way, here's everything you'd ever want to know about Spider-Man 2 and the future of the Spider-Man Insomniac franchise, you don't come at us, because we don't know that. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I doubt that'll
we're,
come out.
we're living in real bad 31st of
Obviously,
March
guys,
time.
you can already see that there is game footage in front of you. This is just our voices of the game footage. But yeah, we are going to get into this. We're going to talk about various different topics within it. So, suit wise, story wise, and stuff like that. So, speaking of, Will,
Yes, John.
let's do story last. Story is
Probably a
like
good
a big
idea.
thing. So
And this,
obviously we know it's gonna have the same game mechanics
or similar.
or similar. We
Insomniac have
probably
announced
know
it
that
in there.
Miles isn't gonna have as many gadgets as Peter did.
He's got more powers.
So he's got more powers anyway, so you don't really need him to have gadgets. Um, so I feel like obviously he learns both of his new, like if you guys didn't know, Miles Morales in the comics and everything like that, obviously he has two other powers than what Peter does. He has invisibility and he can have electricity as well. And obviously in his game he struggled with it. So
Yeah.
I I think let's talk about suits really quick.
Yeah.
Obviously, what they could do is what they're doing with the new game, and is bring all the suits that Miles had in his first game into this one.
Which I would see them doing because it's less work on designing, and
And
you
then they
can
could
just
just do some of their own original suits if they felt like it.
well, like I assume because what's weird is the suits in the Spider-Man 2 like reveal trailer thing are like they're not the same. They are like very different in some aspects, which leads me to believe that they're not the same suit and like the advanced
I would say
suit. You,
I think
you won't get
Peter's.
like an advanced suit like the first
Mm,
Spider-Man game. You'll get the new advanced suit, and that will be the base suit.
yeah,
Same with Miles's new suit, which has got a bit more red on it. You
yeah.
won't get like the
Miles
original
is obviously in that footage. Miles' suit's got a bit more red and uh, black, obviously. Peter's, his blue is a lot more lighter.
and the red is a lot less like faded out. It's a lot less like cloudy. It's a lot more pronounced.
Yeah. So like the red is, I'm looking at an image now. Yeah, Miles is like the same, but
It's
uh,
got like more
it's
red
got
down the
more
arm,
red. Yeah, and Peter's his colors are a lot lighter.
and there's like a little change in the design of the white spider on his chest.
Yeah, is it bigger?
It's I don't think it's bigger. I think they've just changed how it fits onto the because obviously in the other one it was like a raised thing. It was like armored because it was meant to like distract people to catch them off guard.
Yeah.
As for like new suits, I think I trust Insomniac enough to design their own. I think that they designed the advanced suit, which is honestly one of my favorite Spider-Man suits.
Mm.
Miles's original suit, the one that he gets after the bridge attack when he has his little pep talk from Genki, is also one of my favorite Spider-Man suits. So I trust them to design them. I don't know if there are any suits that they haven't put in already that are in like the comics. Like, they could put like a spectacular Spider-Man suit in because I don't think
Well,
there's one in the game.
giving off with Miles alone, obviously, because this is about him. His I don't think he's got many suits, to be honest.
Yeah, 'cause the
Spider-Man.
one from the animated Ultimate Spider-Man show is already in.
Yeah, and it's obviously got that effect where it can be turned into,
Yeah.
which I never
So
used because it fucking hurt my eyes. It actually hurt my eyes to watch, but I used it for a bit, but after a bit, it does hurt your eyes.
I
Um,
I guess they could make more like inspired suits, like take like they did for Prowler in his first game.
to be honest,
They basically took the Prowler
Miles's
design
suit in the comics, they're pretty much all the same. Like it's all the same, it's the same design. Um, but I think the game developers did, you know, they could put in his Ultimate Spider-Man costume from the animated show.
that's already in the game.
Well, the Ultimate Spider-Man
Yeah,
show suit.
yeah. called the animated suit.
I didn't realize that. Um, I don't know. Like suit wise, they've already got his Into the Spider Verse suit.
I mean, the I could see them because the way I see it is people wear a suit when A, it looks cool, and B, it fits their play style.
Mm.
And the one thing that I think Miles does especially better than Peter is stealth.
Yeah,
And
because
I
he's
feel like
got.
it should
I think he's got
be,
a bit more better options, given
yeah.
that he's got a cloak ability.
And I think it shines through in his gameplay and also his attitude to fighting.
Yeah,
Because when you think of spiders, you think of sort of two variety. You've got the ambush spider and the sort of in your face attack spider.
mm.
And I think Peter's more of that in your face wolf spider sort of fighter, where he's dodging around and he's like really fast and he's like kicking and punching, and it's really like fast and aggressive. Whereas I think Miles is more of a jumping around and getting the advantage on your enemy by being out of sight and ambushing them, which is why I think the cloak ability could be something they incorporate actually into a suit.
Mm.
And they could design a suit around like a bunch of his powers.
Well, when it came to like suits for Miles, obviously they would even they gave him his own version of the 2099 suit
Yeah.
as well, so they could, you know, look at suits from Peter and take inspiration and give Miles his own versions of those.
That would be pretty cool.
Like, I would like to see what Miles' version of Ghost Spider would look like. You know, the Ghost Rider
Yeah,
style one,
that would be pretty cool actually, yeah.
like his own version. Um, so moving on from suits, I'd say, what about, the not the main missions, but the little missions where it's crime related and stuff like that. Like, should they add a lot more different variety of crime? Because
And
I felt like when I was playing it,
I
it
think it's dependent on the story.
yeah,
Because the reason why the crime system worked in Spider-Man 2018 and Spider-Man Miles Morales is because during that time there was gang wars happening. Like you had obviously the demons in Spider-Man 2018, but you had the Tinkerers underground in Miles Morales, and that was sort of the reason why you had these crimes to stop. Because you had like the underground fighting Roxxon or the underground fighting police, and you had to go and help and take down people so that they were so that like people were safe. And I think depending on where they go with Miles's story would depend on what kind of side projects he'd get to work on.
yeah, true. Obviously, Peter and him will have to have like little different ones, and obviously, like, since you get to choose which version of which Spider-Man you're playing as in the game, uh, it like nobody in that case, nobody's game experience is going to be the same
Yeah.
because some people might do it all the way through as Peter, some people might do it all the way through as Miles, some people might, switch between them where they start off with Peter, start off with Miles, start off with Miles, start off with Peter. So, would have been so fucking cool if this game was multiplayer.
Oh,
Uh,
Spider-Man 2 is multiplayer.
yeah, if Spider-Man 2 was multiplayer. But obviously, in Miles's game, uh, the thing is, where would Peter be? Because in Miles's game, they had a reason for him to be the only
Well,
Spider-Man in the city.
that sort of gets into story, and I hope you don't mind if I bring up my sort of idea.
Yeah, go for
But
it.
I think what would be cool is if Insomniac did their own version of the Spider-Verse, where the reason
Yeah.
why Peter is unavailable is because Peter is in the main universe and Miles has sort of fallen into the cosmic web that binds all reality together.
Well, in obviously in the Spider Verse movie trailer for Part One for Into the Spider Verse, you see Insomniac's version of Peter.
And it could go two ways. A, Peter is on their world protecting it, or B, Peter has gone missing and Peter is the one that's fallen into the cosmic web and is trapped somewhere by the big bad. And they can come up with a big bad, they can rip them from the comics, and it's up to Miles to either A, save Peter, or B, get home.
Well, given if they're gonna take the concept of the Spider Verse comics, the villain is this group of people who feed on spider people.
Yeah.
That's their whole gist. They feed on them.
I think in my head the coolest like story beat is Peter's fallen into the trap of the bad guys, and he's being prepared for whatever heinous act they have prepped for him.
Yeah.
And Miles is fighting across either multiple little realities, or Miles is in the reality of the bad guy, and that is the reality that you traverse
Mm.
in the game. And it all culminates in big boss fight, like both Spider-Man games have in the past. And it's the moment where throughout the entire game you've been on your own. You've had no backup. You've had no one to sort of talk to. You've had no one telling you where to go or what to do. You've sort of been having to investigate yourself. And Miles has sort of been like stressing, is Peter dead? How do I get home? Stuff like that. And Miles finally gets to Peter, rescues him, and the last boss fight is sort of a tag team fight between you, Peter, and the bad guy or bad guys, where Peter is sort of playing, the assist role, where like he'll come in every so often, like Merrin in Jedi Fallen Order, in the Malakos fight, where like when you reach a certain threshold, a special action happens from the other character. That would be like my ideal sort of story beat for Miles to go down, because it would let him grow as a character
Yeah.
and let him get some individuality, which I think he
If
still sort of
if it's
needs.
not if it wouldn't be um a multiverse story, I feel like the way that they'll do it is probably have Peter you know go with MJ against Sicaria, and maybe the war over there has ended, and she's got to do interviews uh with Silver Sable and all that. Maybe if that's what they
Yeah,
chose to do. Um, either that or Peter could have a story where um Peter could have a story where Miles could have a story where he's I don't know. Either that or Peter's like, just having a break, so he leaves it to Miles.
maybe. I mean, it's sort of a. I guess there's no perfect solution,
There's no perfect solution of
because obviously everyone's got their perfect, Spider-Man game, Spider-Man Miles Morales game in their head.
yeah.
And in their head, they're multimillionaires that have sold, more copies than anyone on the planet. But I think the main takeaways would be, you need to develop Miles as his own character because they started doing that in his first game, and they'll probably continue it in Spider-Man 2 if you know choose to play as Miles. But I think depending on like what happens in that game, there could be like so many different routes you could go down for story for Miles Morales
Yeah,
that it's very
Miles. I
difficult to
feel like
say.
Miles as well. I'd want. I don't know, but we never really saw him with his dad that much. We never got to see their dynamic.
Yeah,
So if they did a multiverse story, I would like it to be where he got to meet his dad again. Maybe
yeah,
a different like Earth version of his dad.
yeah,
If that's something they could do. Um, Either that or like his mum. I don't think they'll kill his mum off. His mum.
no, I don't think they will.
But obviously, uh, Miles likes to do his own thing. He likes to be his own Spider-Man. So obviously, he likes to work with. Do you know when Miles's game came out? Do you know what I
Yeah,
was always thinking? That do you
what?
know when Peter was having like all those training and stuff like that? I thought it was going to be like a Tony Stark situation where Miles was going to get fucking pissed that Peter was being like so protective and stuff like that. But I'm glad it wasn't because it kind of made sense because Miles asked for it.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't know what they could do. Miles really doesn't have his own villains. Like in when it comes to Miles, obviously Miles is originally from a different Earth, and he is that version is that Will's only Spider-Man, and he has his own version of each villain. Like his version of Green Goblin is a big giant fucking creature or something. I don't know,
yeah,
but it depends.
yeah. It does.
Story wise, it all depends on what they can get away with and what makes sense.
Yeah,
But obviously, we know swinging's probably going to be the same, probably a bit more tricks. Because Miles, it's also
yeah.
going to be
They
cool to see like you switch between Miles and Peter's way of swinging.
Yeah, because Peter's sort of the efficient route where it's I've been doing this for 8 years.
Yeah,
I'm sort of sick of it. I'm just doing it so that I can get places fast. Whereas Miles swinging always feels more fun whenever I play either of the games
same.
because it's a lot more erratic and a lot more like he is a teenager having fun with
Yeah,
something that is so unfathomably
Peter was
cool.
like that in. Peter was like that when he first became Spider-Man,
Yeah, but
but
now he's sort of like, really, you guys gonna run? I don't want to swing.
he's been doing it for so long that he just knows what the villain, like the people, are gonna do. So he's like, guys, really? He still makes jokes and that, but he still doesn't. He doesn't like question his job. He doesn't question it. He doesn't like want to give up half of the time. He just is just like, yeah, I'm not the only hero in the world. Like he doesn't. I feel like this Peter doesn't think he. I don't know if he's the version of Peter where he's got the whole world on his shoulders or not.
Yeah,
I think Peter, like, obviously the Avengers exist in this version as well. I would actually like to I would actually like to meet them.
yeah, and I think eventually at some
I
point
want a Daredevil cameo.
when this sort of universe expands, because it's already expanding. Obviously, we're getting a
We're
Wolverine
getting
game.
Wolverine game, which would probably more than definitely be canon.
I could see many other games being put under Insomniac, and it's a lot of stress for one game development company to have like that many
It would
possible
just
games.
mean that since Spider-Man is since even the Wolverine game's only going to be on PlayStation, isn't it?
I
So
assume for at least the first year or two.
yeah, and then it'll go to PC probably. But that would mean that most Avengers games will like not Avengers games, but like all those type of games will go straight to PlayStation. And yeah, I guess like place the MCU have a lot. Marvel have a really good relationship with Sony right now, and obviously with more Spider-Man movies coming, like Spider-Man 4 is already in the works, and if this game, I doubt that film will be out before the after the. If this game continues, there might be an update down the line where you get, oh, you've got the suit from the film now and stuff like that. But story wise, it could go anywhere, guys. We really don't know where this can go, far as story perspective, suit perspective. We don't know that either. It's all up in the air of where things can go, but we're both excited, aren't we?
Yeah, I'd say it's fun to speculate. It's fun to imagine what it could be.
Yeah, and I, for one, definitely am excited to see where it goes if there is going to be a solo Miles game, because obviously I think the first one it didn't take them long to bring it out,
No, it was sort of. I think it was a year after.
because I think it was like they already had the assets
Yeah,
from.
it was the same map, just covered
Yeah,
in snow.
all they had to do was add snow, get voice actors and stuff like that for scenes. They had to get story and all that stuff. But other than that, it was pretty much all the same. But obviously, they can do that with this one. If they choose to do it. If there's one thing I want in these new Spider-Man games, is I want Yuri to come back as a villain. Like I said in my original video, I'd like Yuri to be the DLC villain for uh the Spider-Man game. But I don't know. Is that everything? Anything else?
I don't have anything else to add.
Alright, guys. So yeah, we hope you did enjoy today's video of us speculating about Miles's next solo game if it happens. We hope you guys did enjoy. So yeah, Tribecraft is not around, so me and Will might do other collaboration stuff. We don't know. I might get him on a movie review at some point, but he will have to learn how I'm doing it. But yeah, I hope everyone did enjoy today's video. Don't forget to do all that stuff that YouTube tells you to do and all that. Hope you did enjoy. Go to the links down below to all of our social medias and follow us on all that stuff. I have been one of your hosts, Slasher.
I've been your other host, Azteral.
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
Great power comes great responsibility.
Forget 1,000 things every day, pal. Make sure this is one of them.
Server etiquette!